Welcome to HIT 115 Pathophysiology and Pharmacology. This course is offered online through the Blackboard Learning Management System, and what you're seeing on the screen should be what you see when you log in to this Blackboard class. And the first thing you should do is select Begin Here to look at your course syllabus and orientation. So I'm going to select Begin Here. Okay, and then you should read your syllabus. Now I'm going to select Syllabus HIT 115 Spring 2009, just as you should. And if you heard that sound and you see this little red X for Begin Here, I do not have my pop-up blocker disabled. So I work with my pop-up blocker enabled, and the way that I can work with that is to go back to select Begin Here, and I hold down my Control key and select Syllabus, and then I open the document. It is very important that you disable your pop-up blocker because it may interfere with the questions popping up that you have on your test. Okay, what we're seeing on my screen, I'm going to scroll down to the beginning of the syllabus. Again, it is very important that you read your syllabus, that you understand what's in your syllabus, and after reading the syllabus, then use this, what we call a breadcrumb, to back up to the Begin Here link, and then select the class orientation. I'm going to hold down the Control key and click and open. It's very important that you read the class orientation. This contains very important information about taking this online course, including information about taking the practice test. The practice test, you must score 100%, and I've assigned a deadline for you to complete the test before the first official test is given. The practice test information, the answers, come from this orientation and the syllabus. You must score 100%. You can submit your attempt. The system will grade it. You can see what you've missed and then do a second attempt to try to make the 100%. Of course, you don't get more than one chance on the regular test that you take in this class. And the practice test does not count towards a grade in this class. Okay, I'm going to back up from class orientation to select Begin Here again. And then I'm going to back up to home page. And I know that you're listening to the audio, but I'm going to select audio on your screen so that I can show you something about the Tegrity system. So I am selecting audio, but obviously you're already listening to audio. I select Tegrity, and I select Chapter 1. And in my case, I have to agree that I will allow the non-secure items to come through. And the lecture I want to listen to is the Chapter 1. And I want you to see this right here, that small symbol there. That will allow you to enlarge your screen. Once you enlarge the screen, oops, I'll turn it down.
Physiology and Pharmacology.
Okay, I had to turn that down so that you could hear me talking and not necessarily hear what the computer was saying. Okay, very important to realize that you can enlarge your screen using this symbol right here. And that once you enlarge your screen, the only way to return to normal size, minimize it, is to use your escape button. So I'm going to demonstrate by clicking here. And there it is for you, full screen. And the only way to get out of this full screen is to choose the escape button on your keyboard. Okay, I'm going to back up again. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to show you in Tegrity that you can pause. You can pause the audio with this button right here. Restart the audio. You click here, pause it again, click here. This is going to be a really important button for you to remember so that you can enlarge this. If not, you're going to be trying to read these words on a minimized screen. You must use this button, and the only way to get out is escape, to minimize the screen again. Okay, when you want to restart, when you want to hear the lecture again, you select this, or you pause. I can be fast-forwarded. Don't know why you'd want to fast-forward me, but there may be some important point that you wanted to move ahead to. And I have disabled the print function in this particular class. Okay, I'm moving back to audio. It's really important that you use these, we call them breadcrumbs, in this class, because if you go outside the class and start using the buttons up here, you may run into some problems. So try to stay within the class and just use the buttons here. There will be times that I post announcements for you. At this time there are no announcements. When it's time for a test, you will select assessments, and you will find here the practice quiz. At this time I have it listed as unlimited end date, but I will be inserting an end date after I establish the first test date. To take the test, you merely select practice quiz. You read the instructions here. You begin the assessment. You answer the question, such as the student should check his or her course email twice a semester. No. Only at the beginning and end? No. Every day if possible? Yes. Important part here is to save the answer. If for some reason you wanted to jump ahead to question number 9, you select question 9 here. Answer the question. Like the chapter quizzes will be available for 24 hours on the dates indicated on the course calendar. Save and view. That's all the questions I'm going to answer, so I select finish. I'm ready to submit my test. It's going to remind me that I haven't answered these questions, but that's okay. I'm going to submit my assessment anyway. You should not do that. You should answer all your questions. For the practice test, you can select the OK button and then view your submission of the practice quiz. Most quizzes you cannot go back to view your submission. Okay, check out the calendar. At this time I don't have anything on the calendar except marking the first day of class, which is January 9th. You can post to the discussion board. At this time I don't really have topics posted yet. I have the default topic. You could select and then create a message. Put a subject to your message. Always put a subject to your message, such as what? Ask this. Where can I purchase a book? And your message would be, I need a book. Does anyone have a used one that I can purchase? Now, I don't really want to post this to the discussion board, but if I did, I would select post. I'm going to cancel that. But I don't want to post that and make people think I'm looking for a book. Okay, the mail function's here. I can create a message. I put in my subject, like welcome to the class, and then I can type in a message to you to welcome you to our HIT 115 class. This is how you select who you are going to send this email to. You can't just type in Mrs. Stanley or whatever. You browse for recipients, and then you see all of the students listed for the course, including the instructor, which is me, Donna Stanley. If you were going to send me an email, you would select and save. So now I'm going to send myself an email, and I'm going to make it high priority. If I wanted to add an attachment, I could, by clicking this button and then browsing for the attachment. I could save it as a draft. I like to preview my emails before I send them to you so I can check for proper grammar and spelling, because I certainly want to communicate with you using proper grammar and spelling, as I hope you would do the same in communicating to me. I can send this to myself. My grades. After you have grades posted, they'll show up under My Grades. Okay, this concludes your orientation to the Blackboard system and Tegrity.